We need to get real about something. Shopping is not fun, especially clothes shopping. I hate going into a dressing room with 1,000,001 things hanging over my arm to try on. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's so annoying having to get in and out of all of these different items just to try them on. The mirror, that's a whole nother story. They're awful. And I end up, and I know you do too, liking nothing. Something's gotta give, and this is where Stitch Fix comes in. Stitch Fix makes clothes shopping so much easier. You get a personal stylist that sends you pieces that match your size, style, and everything's in your budget. No guesswork, no stress. Here's how it works. You take a quick style quiz, you share your size, your style and budget, and you get matched with a real human stylist who catches your vibe. It's no risk, all style. Get a personalized Fix box straight to your door and try it all on in the comfort of your home. Shipping and returns are always free, and there's no subscription required. Plus, get a free try-on for your first fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com/podcast to get $20 off your first order, and they'll waive your styling fee. That's stitchfix.com/podcast.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted. I'm Paige.
And I'm Natalie.
It feels so refreshing to be back. And as a listener, you might be going, wait, back? Well, Natalie and I were on a bit of a recording hiatus just to take some time to enjoy summer, and life has just been crazy busy, but we hope that you enjoyed the episodes that were released over the past several months, weeks that we've been on hiatus and you haven't quite known.
I feel like we did a pretty good job, right?
We did. And
we haven't heard anything about people thinking that, hey, you're not there. So I think we did a really good job of getting some quality episodes out without there being a break in the release schedule.
Yeah, the comments have been really positive. We always love hearing back from you guys. And a lot of you loved the Mary-Kate and Ashley one that was released recently. We definitely plan to do more celeb deep dives within like our own perspectives and the way that they have, I don't want to say shaped, but how they were involved in our own growing up and childhoods, right, and our perspective as people growing up with these celebrities and how that impacted us.
You know, we have an entire list of people that we're ready to deep dive. And like Paige said, it'll always be from our perspective. It'll never be a comprehensive, this is their life from birth to now. Yeah. But it would be more the influence that they've had on these two millennial women.
Yeah, there's a ton of documentaries and autobiographies and books and just everything out there about that. And a lot of these people, I was telling Natalie as we were planning some of them, okay, how do we stay trauma informed, but not disregard important pieces of their life? And they pretty much all have trauma. So you might not hear us deep dive a lot into what may have been super traumatic in their life.
That stuff, that side of their life is for them to tell.
Yeah.
That's not our story. But we'll be keeping it light and bright and fun, hopefully.
Exactly.
But speaking of our hiatus, I sort of have an announcement, I guess.
Just kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. So yeah, we've been gone for a couple of months. And that is because I had a baby.
Yeah, she made a whole human and you guys didn't know.
I made a whole human. I didn't tell anyone. So this is like, if you know me in real life, hey, I had a baby. That's where I've been. So yeah, I think maybe that sounds a little odd to people to not have told anyone, but I guess, after 10 years, almost 10 years of trying to have a baby, of infertility, walking through that journey, it was a lot of bit scary. And I just didn't want to tell anyone until baby was in arms. And now that he's been in my arms for a while, I feel safe to talk about it a little bit more openly. So yeah, he's awesome. I am kind of blown away at the whole experience. And yeah, so he's here.
Do you have a rose and a thorn of this whole experience from becoming a mother? Wait, how do I want to word that? Because I was like thinking of another way to say it too, but like I can't talk because I keep feeling like I'm asking it wrong though. Do you have a rose and thorn of this whole experience that is launching into motherhood?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say like the whole process for me was definitely different than probably most people of just getting pregnant and staying pregnant and, the pregnancy process. But I guess if you were to have asked me during pregnancy what the thorn would be, it would be like the fact that I was sick the entire time, or like, because I did do IVF. I think a lot of people that have talked to me since the baby has been born, I haven't even brought that up, but I did do IVF a couple of times. And that was a very expensive, emotional, physical process that I didn't tell anyone. Like, if you didn't know about the baby, you definitely did not know about me doing IVF. And it wasn't because I was embarrassed or for having to do it. It was just, this is such a personal thing. And a lot of people, when they do have a baby, they get to go and make it with their partner and privately. And so like, I never really wanted to have to explain to people like, oh, this is the process. This is what the outcome's been for this step. So yeah, Tim and I did that privately. We didn't tell anyone. I think like when I say anyone, I mean like anyone in our lives. I did like mention it to, I had to get like my retainer replaced or something. And I had said it to like the dentist, but it was like people that weren't in my life. It was so easy for me to be like, oh yeah, well like I can't come that day. I'm going for an egg retrieval.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just because like I felt like I wanted to tell people, but at the same time I was like guarding my heart, and to tell a stranger, it felt like easier.
I know exactly that feeling. It's so much easier to be like, oh yeah, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't do that. I'm currently on these meds or whatever it may be that is in relation to IVF or anything else private in life. And I so connect with that because, as you know, when we tried with IVF, which ultimately was unsuccessful, which you also know about, I didn't tell anyone either. I think I told one person so that I wasn't going crazy, because I process things.
It happens.
I process outwardly. So I did need that like outlet. And as you mentioned so perfectly, this is such a wonderful thing to maybe help people understand that don't go through it. And maybe someone close to them is like, it is a private process, planning your family and things like that. And I think people do expect this like loud announcement about IVF almost.
And, some people need to do the loud announcement, and I think, more power to them. It's just not something that I wanted to do, especially working on 10 years of being married and not having kids. And people came to the point of, oh, well, we won't be asking them if they're having kids because it looks like it's a no, because we know it hasn't been working out for them. And it just was like, I didn't want the looks of pity. I didn't want the intrusive questions. I wanted the private moment with my husband. And I'm glad that I got that. I'm glad that we got to experience that together. It was just a challenging process that I'm glad that we got to walk through together as a married couple, as two married people that are best friends and going through something for a decade together. So it was nice, but it definitely, like I said, had its challenges. I think the day that we were supposed to go for our like heartbeat, which is like 6 weeks when you're doing IVF. I woke up and I remember thinking like, oh, I think I'm going to have a miscarriage if I'm even pregnant. Or no, we had been told, oh, you're pregnant, but we had to wait till 6 weeks to see the heartbeat. And we were going to go in that morning. And I remember waking up thinking, I'm going to have a miscarriage. I don't know. I just had this feeling. And it like makes me want to cry. And maybe I shouldn't share.
Oh,
I like woke up and I went to the bathroom and there was all this blood. And I remember calling Tim's name. I was like, Tim, come. And he's like, what's going on? And there was all this blood. And it was like 30 minutes before our appointment. And we went and I cried the whole way. And I'm sitting in the waiting room and I'm crying. And I think I traumatized some of those other people in the waiting room because I swear nobody would get eye contact with me. This is an IVF clinic. No one's going there because they're happy, right?
Right.
And I'm like, we like picked a seat in the corner and I'm like sitting there crying. Like my face is like this melted puddle and no one would look. I'm like walking down the hallway to go back to our appointment. And I come out of the bathroom after because you have to, you do blood work, whatever. You pee in a thing like every time. And then my doctor saw me come out of the bathroom crying and she's like, what's going on? And I couldn't talk. And they did the ultrasound and I told Tim, don't record. I don't want to know.
This is the deep sorrow that comes with infertility that people don't understand, even when any type of fertility treatment is successful. It is not a cure. It is a loophole or a way around, but it certainly doesn't cure these issues, these insecurities, these fears, the anxiety surrounding these things.
They did the ultrasound and she was like, there he is. You hear his heartbeat. And so, I don't know, after that, I was like, okay, I can't tell anyone because it would be too hard. And so we did eventually tell our families. And obviously I told you, but
I got to know, yes.
Like we didn't tell that many people and I didn't want a baby shower. I didn't want to do any of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I eventually did have like a very, very tiny little baby shower.
It was beautiful and perfect and you looked stunning. I wish we could post our picture. Maybe we can. I don't know. Up to you.
Maybe.
We're obsessed with Quince here at the Murder Diaries. We love all of the clothing items that we own from them. And guess what we just heard they had? Bedding. So you know that I added a pair of their sheets to my collection of bedding. And honestly, it's pretty flippin' amazing, and I don't know why I waited so long. Quince's linen bedding is everything that people say it is. It's light, breathable, and soft from day one. It's woven from 100% European flax. It's the perfect mix of relaxed and refined, and it just gets softer with every wash. The same goes for their ultra plush duvets, quilts, pillows, and shams too. They feature other premium fabrics like organic cotton, breezy bamboo, and skin-nourishing silk. Quince has everything you need to level up your bed. And the best part, like Quince's clothing that we love so much, their bedding is half the cost of similar brands. By partnering with top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes those savings on to us. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. We love to see it. They use premium fabrics and finishes that you just cannot deny the quality of. If you're wondering what I've been using, it's the European linen sheet set in burgundy, and I love the way it looks. The color is so beautiful and the fabric is top notch. Level up your bedding with Quince and you'll feel the difference right away. Go to quince.com/MD for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/MD to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/MD.
You know that feeling when you're treated like an afterthought? Yeah, no one likes that. Especially not during something as important as pregnancy. Shockingly, many prenatal multivitamins haven't even been clinically tested, despite being made for one of the most crucial stages of life. And worse, pregnant women, especially from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds, are routinely left out of clinical research. That's where Ritual is different. They're closing the gap with a first-of-its-kind 24-week clinical trial for their essential prenatal multivitamin. And they're also pushing for a new standard that actually puts women first. Now, back when I first started looking for a prenatal I could feel good about taking, and I chose Ritual. I've been a fan of them for a while now, and I'm so grateful that they're sponsoring this podcast. I love their Essential for Women prenatal multivitamin. And the reason it stood out to me is because, like I mentioned, it's backed by a 24-week clinical study and formulated to help fill key nutrient gaps in the diet. And personally, I found it easy on the stomach, especially compared to the other prenatals I've tried in the past. I also really appreciate the fresh citrus essence. It smells so good. It actually makes taking it feel like less of a chore. I trust Ritual because they're transparent about their ingredients and where they come from, which really gives me peace of mind during such an important time. Ritual selects bioavailable key nutrients designed for optimal absorption. It was also designed with morning sickness in mind, and in this study, don't settle for less than evidence-based support. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/diaries. Start Ritual or add Essential Prenatal to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/diaries for 25% off. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Based on net sales from industry data including Nielsen, IQ, Stackline, and Numerator as of Q4 2024 and top 5 products. Based on a 24-week randomization, double-blind controlled clinical trial on 62 second and third trimester pregnant women. On 62 second and third trimester pregnant women.
It's no secret that weight loss medications are everywhere right now. I mean, seriously, everyone's talking about them. So many people are on them. But let's be real. Have you seen the price tag? They're so expensive. It's hard to believe that so many people are actually accessing them. And that's where Hers comes in. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans. They connect you with a medical provider who will work with you to determine the best treatment option for you. If prescribed, you'll get medication as part of a doctor-developed weight loss program, complete with ongoing care, check-ins, dosage, and medication adjustments, along with 24/7 online support at no additional cost. No hidden fees and no membership fees. Weight Loss by Hers is realistic, not restrictive, and affordable. Hers provides access to both oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectable options, with oral medication kits starting at just $69 per month with a 10-month plan when paid out up front. Plus, your personalized treatment ships for free directly to your door. So, if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey or you want to kick it up a notch, it's time to find the best option that will work for you through Hers. Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/diaries. That's forhers.com/diaries for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/diaries. Weight Loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compound products are not approved or reviewed for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety information, and restrictions. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
You open the Walmart app and boom! The Reebok and Hanes styles that keep your kiddos on their A game delivered in as fast as an hour. That's right, those comfy Hanes Performance Crew socks they love in the app. And the coolest shirts, shorts, hoodies, and leggings from Reebok? Yep, Walmart's got them. They'll feel so focused in their new gear they won't even notice you freaking out on the sidelines. Shop Reebok and Hanes in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new. Subject to availability, fees, and restrictions apply.
Got some good news for your ears. More of that good stuff is coming up. And even better news for your hair. The best hair care is at Sephora. They've got all kinds of products for every kind of hair. From brands like Amika, Kerastase, Day, and K18. You knew where to get great audio. Now, you know where to get great hair care too. Sephora, good news for great hair. Shop hair care now at Sephora.com.
But yeah, I think that is kind of why I didn't want to tell people. But
Yeah.
now I get to talk about this little boy that is so cute and sweet and so
delicious.
loved.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm a mom. And and I hate crying. This is
So
so embarrassing.
awesome.
I never cry. Not that that's like worthy of a trophy or anything. It's just like so out of character for me. But it just shows how even now I can get triggered by this
Yes.
type of conversation. But yeah, so that's where we've been. That's what's been going on. And
Oh
we're
my
happy to be
gosh.
back.
What a terrifying yet beautiful moment. And I feel like, isn't that so fitting? You tell me, but isn't that so fitting for like pregnancy and birth? It's just like traumatizing, scary, yet like beautiful thing all wrapped up into one. Like birth and pregnancy trauma is a very real thing.
And it doesn't end after you give birth to the baby. Like, as you know, like my pregnancy beyond what I just shared was a little bit of a roller coaster. There's a lot of like medical things. I was going in first once a week from like 30 weeks on, then twice a week. From like 30.
Every day was an appointment. Like, seriously, she'd be like, oh, I have an appointment. We got to record. And then I got to go to an appointment. I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor girl.
I was going for NSTs twice a week. I was going for ultrasounds once a week. Like there was so much going on. And then I give birth, which was not a straight through process either. Like I was in labor for 3 days and in a failed induction. That didn't work out. And then we had to do an unplanned C-section, which is a recovery that's insane. And I would never wish a C-section on anyone, on my worst enemy, because it's literal abdominal surgery, major abdominal surgery. Not that, a vaginal birth isn't difficult either. They're both really hard. It's just this is the one I've experienced, and that was not easy. And then I came home one day and then was readmitted for postpartum preeclampsia. You can get preeclampsia after you have the baby. So, yeah, that's where we've been. But so those are the thorns. And I'll say that I would probably do them again for the baby. So he's obviously the rose out of all of it.
Does it feel like you've known him forever, or do you feel like you're just discovering him every day? Is it both? Like, what's it like?
That's a good question. I can hear him right now in the other room. He's with Tim. I feel like Tim and I have talked about this. He's only been here however long he's been here, but it feels like he's always been here. Does that make sense? Like, what did I... Like, my life had something missing, and obviously a child isn't, a balm to fix whatever's wrong in your life. And I'm not saying that's his job or responsibility, but I think my heart always knew that he was hopefully coming. And
that's probably why it felt a little bit, I'll use the word empty, but always correct me if that's not correct. But like, it was waiting for him.
Yeah.
That like, little piece of your heart was like, hello.
I had a full life before. I'm not saying, a life without children is empty. That's not what I would ever say. And that wasn't my experience completely, but it was just, I felt like there was somebody that I was waiting for, I guess. So he's here.
I feel like it's so cool that we can speak from different perspectives, because when we did IVF, it was that opposite, right? I remember even telling you, like, Natalie, I don't think I could do it again. And I don't even know if I want to. Like, it's not about not wanting to have kids or wanting to have kids. It's that it's not for us. It's not leading us towards our greater path that this big universe wants us to be on. Like, that's not what it is. And then we got Posey, and I know Posey's not going to live forever or outlive me, but like, she did that healing. She fit that space, that need. And it's interesting because she's an ever-present dog. Like, if you know Posey, she's a Velcro dog. Like, she is next to me, on top of me, protecting me. Like, she's not a dog that you forget's around.
She like lets she's here.
Yeah, she's ever present, which is what we wanted when we spoke with the entity that we got her through. And so anyways, it's amazing that like through these, infertility treatments and processes that like you do, like hopefully you do find that perfect situation for you and your family. And it's an expensive way to go about life. And, I'm here for everybody else that has joined me and Natalie on those journeys, because we feel for you. Probably, I don't need to speak for you, Natalie, but I'm pretty sure that you agree. Like, we feel for you every day, because it's exciting, it's scary, it's emotional, it's all of the things.
Yeah. I think it's given me an ability to be empathetic with people in a way that I never would have been able to be. Because I think there's a lot of naiveness surrounding infertility. A lot of people have never experienced it in their lives, and, will say things that they don't realize is like a dagger to the heart. Like, I had someone, I'm not going to say who it is, but you know who it is. When we did announce to one of our families, they said, "Congratulations, now you're a real family."
That killed me when I heard that, because honestly, it's like, oh, okay, so is my family not real?
Yeah,
And
like,
it's just
I'm
me and my
pretty sure,
husband? Like, that's
like,
so weird.
For the last however long it had been at the maybe 9.5, I feel like Tim and I are a real family. We've been a real family since we got
Yes!
married. But they didn't say that out of being cruel,
Right.
even if it felt that way to me. And I think
The subconscious society thing,
Yeah.
that they feel like you have to have kids to be real. And I feel like this is a society it's very expensive to have children. People are making decisions for many different reasons on why to have or to not have them. So
Mhm.
to say one family is more legit than the other is just kind of weird.
Well, it's weird, but it just shows like the lack of understanding is what I was really getting
Mhm.
at. And,
Yes.
especially to say that to someone who didn't have a choice
Yeah.
in whether or not they could have kids. Oh, and I do want to clarify, I know that for those who haven't gone through IVF or haven't been pregnant themselves, this might be a little confusing. I had mentioned earlier, I thought I was having a miscarriage. There was blood, but then, we ended up seeing a heartbeat in the ultrasound. And what ended up happening was I had a subchorionic hematoma, which is not super common, but not unheard of in IVF pregnancies. You tend to get those. It's like a pocket of blood that will just keep bleeding until it's done in your gestational sac. I think that's where it's at. Don't quote me. You guys can Google it. But I had to be on bed rest. I had to be monitored extra closely. So thankfully it all worked out. But I just wanted to clarify for anyone that was confused of what exactly happened? Why did that happen? Anyway, so that was a thing.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing seriously everything with me and the listeners, and, the good, the bad, the ugly
And
of
the beautiful.
your, experience. And and the beautiful. I like that. That's better than good, right? The beautiful. I love that.
I mean, there was some good. There was some, there was the whole range of things. But yeah, I think it ended beautifully in my story at the moment. So yeah.
Absolutely. And hopefully people learned things, connected on things, wherever they are in this type of journey, if they are. And I would love to, with your permission, sort of cap us off today with a little bit of a related topic, because it's Fundy Corner.
Oh, okay.
with
I was hoping you would bring that up. Because
it's time to catch up.
Yeah, well, we know it, we want to talk about this. And I had seen you left, a little mention of it in our notes, but I don't know too much about it. And I've been dying to hear. So fill me in.
Yes. If this is your first time hearing me give Fundy Corner, I think I've done it once or twice before, because I am stupidly obsessed with the Duggars and the Bates.
A lot of people are.
Personally, I'm a Bates girl, but the Duggars, it's fascinating. Okay. It's fascinating. Now, not all of them have YouTube, so it can be quite the feat keeping up, but I did my best. So Jessa Duggar, she's probably one of the most well-known Duggars. She is a number 5, because you have Josh, then
The twins.
Jana and John David, then Jill, and then Jessa. So 4th pregnancy, 5th kid, Jessa. She is married to Ben Seawald. That's not new news. That's been over a decade now. She had her 6th baby. She's giving followers her birth story kind of in this interesting kind of follow along way, but in multiple parts on YouTube. So we actually don't even fully know what gender the baby is yet. She did not find out. I do assume because a Duggar and a Bates don't ever miss the opportunity to, I'm going to say it, exploit, pregnancies and baby births and things like that. So it's not surprising to me that she hasn't said it yet, number one, because it's interesting information. And why is somebody going to watch probably 3 or 4 parts to this birth vlog if she's not going to give that information or whatever. So we don't know yet, but we're on part 2. So you guys can catch up there as well. Jackson and Emerson Bates. It was kind of rumored, like, is she having a baby? Is she not? A couple of the siblings spilled some things on their YouTube channel, maybe a little bit on accident or something, or just like people catching, like Carlin and Evan saying something. And you're like, wait, are they inferring that Jackson and Emerson are having a baby? Well, I think that enough came out and they did do like a more public announcement that they were going to have a baby. And so I think not several, but like a few months ago, that baby, is likely born. We just don't have an announcement, but we are well past the due date. So she must have had a baby.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso Virtual Coffee Machines. Ready to enjoy the bold flavors of barista quality Nespresso iced coffee at home? Simply fill a glass with ice and press the brew button on your virtual pop machine to enjoy rich double espressos roasted to stand up even when chilled. Refreshingly bold iced coffee, refreshingly easy to make at home. Visit Nespresso.com to shop now.
Learning through play starts with Lego Duplo. With Lego Duplo, toddlers can develop real-life skills while having fun with colorful bricks made just for them. Large, easy to grip, and safe to explore. When children express themselves with Lego Duplo, they build patience, problem-solving, and empathy. See your child learn perseverance and self-expression with everything they imagine and create. Visit lego.com/preschool to learn more.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent, savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast Gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast Gems.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Like we mentioned earlier, a lot can happen. So maybe they've just either been getting used to their new family member. Maybe some medical things came up. Maybe they just decided they didn't want to share. And that's their right.
Very public family. And they don't have a YouTube channel. Like there are plenty of Duggars, plenty of Bates that do, and plenty that don't. So, because they publicly announced that on like their pages, that's basically all we know is that it was publicly announced that she would. They have not publicly announced anything else about the baby, but just know that may be coming up in a future update once the family and they decide that it's okay. Because Natalie's right. It could be medical things. It could just be privacy. So we'll respect it to that certain extent. But we are so far past that we know like the baby
would have been born.
If the pregnancy would no longer be.
That is like an interesting topic that we kind of touched on prior to recording, actually, the whole announcement of like pregnancy and like birth.
Yes. And just like a lot of medical stuff that kind of inadvertently gets exposed about these children or just like anything about their lives. Honestly, what their rooms look like. Where's the window in them? What's the nursery look like? Like it's so unsafe, but I almost feel bad because their parents made these decisions to get them onto reality TV because it was probably one of the only ways to fund 19 children because both the Bates and Duggars have 19 kids. So these families of 21 are like, hey, here's a great opportunity to be able to afford this kind of lifestyle. but then these kids almost become, I don't want to say unemployable, but like kind of almost like, there's way too much out there about their lives, about their families' beliefs. And now as adults, they can believe in whatever way they want, but they're always going to be tied to cults, the
They have this
IDLP.
digital footprint.
Yes, but we do have a few more too, as we kind of tie into that topic surrounding it, is that Lawson Bates has announced that they're having a baby and Josie's having number 4. So Lawson and Tiffany are having number 2. Josie's having number 4. Carlin is very close to having baby number 3. Also, we don't know if that's a boy or a girl. And Aaron Bates is still on track for baby number 7. So we've got a lot of babies coming here in Fundy Corner. There's no like Josh Duggar updates or anything like that right now. So I don't have some like the scandalous updates, but there's just always a baby coming. And I mean it's always
the one
interesting
family,
and sweet.
The Bates family, I think you mentioned like 5 new babies.
Yes. And that's just in 2025.
Their parents must have 30 plus grandchildren. How do you know and love that many grandchildren? How can you have a relationship with that many?
They're hitting number 40, I think.
Okay.
I would have to really count to be sure, but I know that they're above 30. I know that because they hit 30 in 2024, but then these babies have come and I think they're getting closer to 40 because other babies came in 2024 since I got like the last like count. But yeah, like how do you even know how many kids you have? I feel like Jim Bob, and this ties into like all of the things that are exposed about these children, right? I think Jim Bob at one point said, hey, if all of my kids, if we have 20 kids, because remember, Jim Bob and Michelle, they almost had 20 children.
Were they aiming for 20 or it was just that was the number?
I feel
Jubilee,
like there may have been Jubilee, unfortunately, and then no more pregnancies after that. Right. But I think Michelle has had another miscarriage or 2 in her past as well. So, I mean, they've always been so near this number as they got towards the end, right? Of like, okay, are we going to hit 20 or not? And he said something like, and if each one of them had 10 kids, we could have 200 grandkids. And it's like, you can't know all of their names, all of their birthdays, all of the things about them. And like, you can actually, now that the siblings are adults in these families, it's not that they don't know each other or keep in touch, but you can see there are the ones that are much more enmeshed in each other's lives than the others. And it's different for all of them. And they do even admit that there are seasons of life where they are closer to other siblings than other times. And I come from a family with like a similar amount of cousins. So I kind of get the idea, like if all these cousins were siblings, okay, and like how does this work? And it's like, yeah, there are cousins that I could pick up the phone and call, but there are other cousins that I might text first and say, hey, like, can we talk about XYZ? Or like cousins that I just don't really communicate that way with. And I have like, like a lot of cousins.
That could be with any number of siblings, that type of dynamic. Like you're going to be closer to some and in certain times of your life than others. And it may fluctuate. It may vary. You may not get along with some of your siblings. But when you have 17 other lives that you're forever connected to, it makes it a lot harder to say, hey, let's all get together for family dinner. Like let's get in on the family group chat. There's so many people in their family group chat, I'm sure.
It's a lot. It's like a classroom full of people to constantly try and keep in touch with for the rest of your life or keep up with. So, and I'm sure that they have really gotten it down over the years of like how to be in that big. Exactly. Again, I know it on a lesser scale because my immediate family is not small, but then my extended family is even larger. So I just think of it from that perspective of like, what if my extended family was my immediate family and like the cousins were siblings? Like, whoa, it would be a lot because it's a lot when we all get together and we try to organize these things. I mean, there's Google Sheets that go out for Easter of like who's bringing what and like, all of these things. So, and then there's like the Christmas party is a whole nother thing. Those are the two big things we do every year because there's so many of us, and weddings are huge just from my side of the family. Our wedding was like what some people have just from my own side because my dad and my mom both are one of 9 and one of 7. So it's like, whoa. Like it adds up. Regardless of that, I will keep us up to date on all of the Bates and Duggar stuff moving forward every couple of episodes.
Good, you should.
I think it's very fun to follow.
I want to
I'm
know.
glad you're interested.
There are so many of them. It's hard to keep up to date, like we're saying, for their family members. Can you imagine just a casual viewer like me? It's hard.
Lots of moving parts. I think something that was interesting that I'm kind of watching is one of the middle Bates is married to really seems like a sweet guy. His name's Travis Clark, and he is really, quite frankly, handling their YouTube channel, in my opinion. And he also sings and has been touring, and they have 2 kids. Trust me, I think they're going to have a 2026 baby. Can we please mark this right now? I'm smelling baby number 3 Clark's 2026, maybe later 2026. It's happening. It's on my bingo card. He's going to nursing school.
Good for him.
On top of all of these things. That's what I said. It's like good for him. He mentioned that they've kept it quiet for a little bit until they realized like it was the right thing for their family because they are stepping a little bit back from YouTube. And here's what they said. And don't you and I know this, Natalie? You can't in this current climate rely on social media, and they get views. Let me tell you. But they're thinking, okay, what's 40 going to look like? What's 50? They're in their 20s. Okay. They're 24 years old. They're young. So they're thinking 30, 40 sounds old to them. They're going, are people going to be interested in watching us? The answer is yes, but they don't know that. And they feel like, what do I want to leave behind more than my YouTube channel? And as my kids get older, maybe I don't want them knowing when their first day of school is and things like that, I bet. And so he decided to go back to school, go to nursing school.
I love that. And what a useful set of skills, even for your day-to-day life, but even as a parent, your baby's sick. Well, you would be taking them to the ER, urgent care, or the doctor's office. Having a nurse at home with little understanding of what was, what to do would be helpful. So good for them.
There is nothing more that fundies love than having a midwife in the family, a nurse in the family, a teacher in the family, and a pilot. Oh, they love it. They love it.
I'm scared constantly of those small planes. I don't know if I'd want a pilot in my family.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'd want my own mini plane. Not that that will ever be a problem I'll have, but.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's scary. Randall's grandfather used to fly Cessnas. And I'm like, I'm not going in a 1-engine plane. And we were never invited to be on a plane. He was older by that time. But like, I see these pictures and I'm like, that plane really scares me. Like, I'm not getting on that.
No. And I feel like nowadays, I know we're wrapping it up, but I feel like nowadays on social media, there's so much more, I don't know if it's exposure or headlines about these smaller engined planes crashing and not having any survivors. I actually was on TikTok a couple days ago, and it was a video of maybe a 2-year-old on a push bike. So it didn't have pedals. He's just pushing himself around on the bike. And the caption says, like, my son scooting around the plane that his dad's going to take us out on adventures with. And it was like a 2-engine, 1-engine plane. But if you kept swiping, then you stumbled upon a video of a news reporter standing in front of the wreckage of that same plane with the same tail number, saying that all 3 people aboard, mom, dad, and I think 2-year-old baby, didn't survive. And so, not that that is the outcome for everyone who steps foot on a small plane. Obviously, there are plenty of people and plenty of airplanes that make flights successfully, safely. I don't know. It just kind of scares me.
Private jets do crash way more often than commercial. That is very true. And I don't know why or what's behind that. Is it just a numbers thing? But that is what I've always heard. I don't have an actual statistic, but I feel like I've even seen that statistic backed up before. It's not just like, oh, I heard it, and so I perpetuate it. But could be wrong. If you know more than us, please let us know in the comments, because it is interesting and it should be looked at like, hey, why? What's going on here? I have another little happy note to end on that's kind of exciting film-wise. So, I mean, it's, not like the crazy exciting life update or anything, but Casper is being re-released for its 30th birthday into theaters. First of all, the fact that it's 30 years old is wild, but it does feel, aged in like an older movie. But I flippin' love Casper.
I loved that movie too. Human Casper.
Hocus Pocus and
Human
Devon
Casper
Sawa.
was my childhood crush.
Can I keep you?
Yes, please.
Who didn't love Devon Sawa as Casper? Seriously. And that is when I fell in love with Christina Ricci, who is a fantastic actor. So I'm very excited. I don't know if I will go to the theater and see it or not yet. I would like to, but when they re-released Hocus Pocus for its 25th or 30th, whenever, I think it was its 25th, which that movie was released in 1993. It was really packed and people were like quoting the movie the entire time next to us. It's like, I can quote the movie too backwards and forwards because like these people were quite younger than you and I, but it's a cult classic. And I kept feeling like I could do this. And I was here when this movie came out. I was here excited to buy the VHS when it was released of Hocus Pocus. Okay, children, I don't need you quoting it next to me the whole movie. It was overwhelming because it was loud, but the vibe was kind of fun that people were like excited. So
it was an immersive experience.
It made it a little more accidentally immersive. Like this is not the Taylor Swift Eras movie where like some people would kind of sing a little bit or have fun. Like honestly, it wasn't overwhelming when I saw that movie twice, but you know it. But yeah, so I'm kind of happy to see that it's still got some love behind it, that people are still thinking about this movie and wanting to kind of give it life and keep the fun behind it alive. Because I'm telling you again, Hocus Pocus and Casper, I watch them every like August through probably like first week of November, probably a couple times.
Well, like you said, they're classics. And I think this sort of re-releasing of older movies on their anniversaries, 25th, 30th, whatever, is an example of what happens when people aren't really keeping a hold of like physical media anymore. Because most people back 10 years ago would be able to pull out the VHS or the DVD and play it at home whenever they wanted. But now most people nowadays don't keep any sort of physical media, whether that's a physical book, whether that's a movie, whether it's a magazine, everything's digital these days. And so this is probably the only way for a lot of people to see it if they're not, renting it from Amazon or something.
Right. Or they're just willing to spend that money, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, I didn't buy that. I don't necessarily want to buy it, but like, yeah, I'll go have some popcorn and a Diet Coke. Although if you're Regal, Diet Pepsi. Please, by the way.
Oh, I know. That ruins the experience for me. Like
at Regal.
Your Diet Pepsi.
It does ruin it. I don't want your Diet Pepsi, Regal. I'm so mad.
Like who wants a frozen Diet Pepsi icy? No, thank you.
And listen, Diet Pepsi, I know there's Pepsi stands out there and y'all are from the South. Okay. But over here in California and many other places, we prefer Coke products, which is why I'm extremely excited that Costco is bringing Diet Coke back.
I feel like I'm going to lose you right now with the internet, but because I just got your connection's unstable. But I will say, as we end, I will give the Pepsi people one point for Pepsi Zero. That is a tasty drink. I'll drink that.
It's tolerable. It is tolerable. Yes.
It's good. It's good. But anything else, yuck. Ugh. Anyway.
No, and I know it sounds sick, but while my sister was here on her annual summer visit, we went to the movies twice and she could kind of go either way, but we got Pepsi Zero and she was totally fine with that. But we did decide that we liked the flavor of aspartame better, which Pepsi does not use aspartame. Can't confirm with Pepsi Zero. I haven't looked into it, but I would imagine it's sucrose or whatever they call it. It starts with an S. But yeah, it's tolerable, but Regal, get it together. And Costco, I cannot wait for my Costco to bring back Coke products because I guess they've been gone for over a decade. I didn't really know because I wasn't really a Costco girly until I was on my own. And I just noticed, oh yeah, they have Pepsi, Diet Pepsi. Ew, how could you have such delicious pizza and not have Coke products?
I'll tolerate this
Plus,
Pepsi
I'm very excited.
alongside my pizza that was $1.
You know what? I just didn't get a drink. Gotta be honest.
You know what? The hot dog, when you buy a hot dog, you get a free drink. That's what it is. So Tim and I always get one hot dog and one pizza, and then we'll like split. That's why I always get a drink.
Fun.
But, yeah.
Yeah. And you know I don't do the hot dog because I don't do mammals, but I know that people enjoy that. My own husband used to enjoy it, but he says it makes him a little bit sick now. So he's like, I can't. He's like, I'm not feeling good after. Not that you would expect to feel good after eating that, but
to your 30s, Randall.
I think that's what it is. Like, it's not that he expects to feel amazing, but he's actually, like feeling like, oh, I actually like really just like don't feel good at all. So he's stopped eating that. And I've had people in my life that actually stopped eating their pizza, even though it's so tasty and such a great price, because I started not feeling good. So, but I don't think you can blame Costco. I think it's just how often are you eating something, and you just never know. But yay, Costco. I'll keep you updated when we finally have Coke products at mine. I don't know.
I feel like here's a really good place to end.
It is.
Thanks for being here this week and for being here every week. Be sure to tune in on Thursday for our regularly scheduled true crime case coverage. And next Monday, I can't say we'll have another announcement, but we'll have something interesting for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Until then, everybody. Bye. We're obsessed with Quince here at the Murder Diaries. We love all of the clothing items that we own from them. And guess what we just heard they had? Bedding. So you know that I added a pair of their sheets to my collection of bedding. And honestly, it's pretty flippin' amazing, and I don't know why I waited so long. Quince's linen bedding is everything that people say it is. It's light, breathable, and soft from day one. It's woven from 100% European flax. It's the perfect mix of relaxed and refined, and it just gets softer with every wash. The same goes for their ultra plush duvets, quilts, pillows, and shams too. They feature other premium fabrics like organic cotton, breezy bamboo, and skin-nourishing silk. Quince has everything you need to level up your bed. And the best part, like Quince's clothing that we love so much, their bedding is half the cost of similar brands. By partnering with top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes those savings on to us. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. We love to see it. They use premium fabrics and finishes that you just cannot deny the quality of. If you're wondering what I've been using, it's the European linen sheet set in burgundy, and I love the way it looks. The color is so beautiful and the fabric is top notch. Level up your bedding with Quince and you'll feel the difference right away. Go to quince.com/MD for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/MD to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/MD.
You know that feeling when you're treated like an afterthought? Yeah, no one likes that, especially not during something as important as pregnancy. Shockingly, many prenatal multivitamins haven't even been clinically tested, despite being made for one of the most crucial stages of life. And worse, pregnant women, especially from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds, are routinely left out of clinical research. That's where Ritual is different. They're closing the gap with a first-of-its-kind 24-week clinical trial for their essential prenatal multivitamin. And they're also pushing for a new standard that actually puts women first. Now, back when I first started looking for a prenatal I could feel good about taking, and I chose Ritual. I've been a fan of them for a while now, and I'm so grateful that they're sponsoring this podcast. I love their Essential for Women prenatal multivitamin, and the reason it stood out to me is because, like I mentioned, it's backed by a 24-week clinical study and formulated to help fill key nutrient gaps in the diet. And personally, I found it easy on the stomach, especially compared to the other prenatals I've tried in the past. I also really appreciate the fresh citrus essence. It smells so good, it actually makes taking it feel like less of a chore. I trust Ritual because they're transparent about their ingredients and where they come from, which really gives me peace of mind during such an important time. Ritual selects bioavailable key nutrients designed for optimal absorption. It was also designed with morning sickness in mind, and in this study, don't settle for less than evidence-based support. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/diaries. Start Ritual or add Essential Prenatal to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/diaries for 25% off. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Based on net sales from industry data including Nielsen, IQ, Stackline, and Numerator as of Q4 2024 and top 5 products. Based on a 24-week randomization, double-blind controlled clinical trial on 62 second and third trimester pregnant women. On 62 second and third trimester pregnant women.
It's no secret that weight loss medications are everywhere right now. I mean, seriously, everyone's talking about them. So many people are on them. But let's be real. Have you seen the price tag? They're so expensive. It's hard to believe that so many people are actually accessing them. And that's where Hers comes in. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans. They connect you with a medical provider who will work with you to determine the best treatment option for you. If prescribed, you'll get medication as part of a doctor-developed weight loss program, complete with ongoing care, check-ins, dosage, and medication adjustments, along with 24/7 online support at no additional cost. No hidden fees and no membership fees. Weight Loss by Hers is realistic, not restrictive, and affordable. Hers provides access to both oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectable options, with oral medication kits starting at just $69 per month with a 10-month plan when paid out up front. Plus, your personalized treatment ships for free directly to your door. So, if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey or you want to kick it up a notch, it's time to find the best option that will work for you through Hers. Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/diaries. That's forhers.com/diaries for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/diaries. Weight Loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compound products are not approved or reviewed for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety information, and restrictions. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.